How do you make money for nothing? The answer could be hiding in the 20 million tonnes of household waste we throw out every year.
Before you throw that away, is there any chance I can have a quick chat to you about it?
Sure.
That's why entrepreneur Sarah Moore wants to get her hands on things before they hit the skip.
I am a passionate buyer, user and renovator of second-hand stuff, and I've turned that passion into a money-making business. I turn old into new and I sell it for a profit.
Sarah's ready to sift through as many boots and bin bags as she needs to.
That is the most fabulous thing I've seen here. This is so exciting.
In her search for tip treasure.
I love rifling through the rubbish.
And with some of the country's elite designers and makers,
Hello, hello.
What have you got today?
I want to do what's right for this piece of rubbish.
she can transform her finds into desirable,
Look at that!
beautiful,
Speechless.
valuable,
You're joking.
and hopefully saleable items.
You always talk my kind of money, Jay. I love doing deals with you.
If Sarah is successful, then she can hand the profits back to the very people who had no idea there was cash to be made from their trash.
Wow!
Today we're at the Whitley Community Recycling Centre in Surrey, which is the final resting place for items which are no longer loved or regarded as useful. Well, to most people anyway.
Yesterday we missed some really good things because we went home before the tip closed. So today I'm here till the bitter end, and so are you.
Sarah's challenge today is to search out 3 items which she believes could be reworked and turned from trash into cash. And she's just spied Colin with an item which would have most other people stumped.
I know it sounds really strange, but that looks fantastic. So was that your gatepost or?
It was an old gatepost, yeah. It was from a house we moved a couple of years ago, and a gatepost.
So you took it with you?
No. Actually, it was an old gatepost. They put new gateposts in. This was just left at the side, and I've actually used half of it already.
Okay.
As a lamp.
Well, do you know something? I was just thinking that I'm looking for something to use as a base of a lamp.
No.
So that is, mine might be a side light, but I think that would make a really cool, just that little bit there.
No, for sure.
Might be just great for me to use, if you don't mind me having it.
You're more than welcome to have this lump of wood.
I'd love it. That's brilliant.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
It was surplus to requirements, just brought it to the local dump to get rid of it. There you are. Somebody else wants to use it. Fantastic.
You can't put a price tag on that kind of age and that grain and that look it's got. I think that this pattern here on the base will just make the most fantastic bottom to a light.
And luckily for Sarah, she has just the couple in mind who will be able to help her handle that potential light's bottom. Hidden away in an East London garden shed, creative couple Abigail Booth and Max Banbridge run a successful business making handmade homeware from reclaimed natural materials.
We're so flooded with manufactured throwaway consumer items. It's like actually we decided we wanted to make things that lasted.
Being out in kind of woodlands and forests sourcing stuff, there's a real physicality that you have to enjoy.
Colin's old stump will clearly be in safe hands with Max and Abigail. Back in Whitley at the tip, the plundering continues with Sarah on the lookout for her next item to salvage.
But there could be anything. That's what's so exciting.
It's almost palpable.
Not the lawnmowers.
Talking of gardens, what type of socks does a gardener wear? Garden hose, of course. Oh, God. With 2 more items left to find, Sarah has spotted the white van of Dominic and Bernard.
I love the look of your sofa.
Well, the sofa was going to be dumped. It is unbelievably uncomfortable.
If it isn't comfortable, then that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? Brilliant. Should we just pop it down over this way?
Actually, we should put the cushions as they should be, no? As we throw them.
Hand it over to an expert. Here you go. These are lovely. These are feather cushions. They've got a really good weight to them, haven't they?
That's one way of putting it.
I think that it's something that looks like it was a really quality, heavy-duty piece of furniture when it was first made. And I'm looking for things that maybe I can give a new lease of life to. Would it be something that you'd let me have a go at? And
Absolutely. I mean, if you could add value to that, that's fine.
that's great. Can't wait to get my hands on it and do something with it. That's fantastic. I absolutely love this. It's charming, it's sweet, it's little, it'll refurbish beautifully, and it'll be commercial. This will fit into any house. It's not some enormous piece that can't fit anywhere. So this is a real find. Oh, look, it reels really easily too.
If only we were all so easily pleased.
My wife must have had it for 20 to 30 years. And I don't think it was new then. But I'm very pleased that somebody thinks they can make something better of it.
It might be some time.
There's no time for lounging around when we have to find a solution for that sofa. Luckily, Sarah knows a man who can help. Upholsterer and furniture maker Anthony Devine runs one of the UK's leading upholstery schools in Manchester. He does, though, have a slightly unconventional approach.
I'm not traditionally kind of trained as a designer, so I don't draw anything out. I don't particularly plan anything out. I just kind of lunge at it.
Lunging or not, his skill is the art of being experimental within the ethos of design, while staying in the realms of traditional upholstery technique.
I like to explore other things in what a traditional upholsterer would do, so I would use digital fabrics. I like to mix like kind of screen printing and printing your own fabrics. Yeah, I like to explore opportunities.
That's great news, as although Anthony doesn't know it yet, Sarah's about to provide him with his next big opportunity, in the shape of the old, floral, saggy sofa. With 2 items already safely banked, the search continues for the third and final item of the day. So there's no time for any of that monkeying around. It's one thing clearing up and keeping the dump shipshape, but Sarah has spotted an ocean-going vessel in the boot of Richard's Cavalier.
Make my day. Tell me that you're throwing out the canoe.
It's yours.
No
what you're
way.
supposed to say is that a kayak in your Cavalier, or are you just pleased to see me?
I'll make the jokes round here, thank you.
So yes,
Is that a
I am.
kayak, and is it free to take?
It is, yes.
We're looking for things that we might be able to make into other things and perhaps recycle or restore, but I think that this just looks so fantastic. I've got to be able to make it into
It's so
something.
natural, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
I'm so pleased because I thought, what do I do with it? I can't. And I had great difficulty getting it in there, and I had to take a seat out to do it. And I had actually thought of sawing off the end.
I'm
'cause it
so
was
pleased you didn't.
I tried everything, and I thought, yeah, how can you deliver a canoe with, cut up like a cucumber?
It's fabulous. If
Anyhow, yes.
let's have a closer look at it. Was it yours, and have you canoed and kayaked all over the place in it?
No, there's no great history of daring do with this.
Fantastic. Fantastic. It's just brilliant. We haven't had anything like this that we can work on. So if we could take it away, and maybe I could come back and show you what I've done with it. Would that be all right?
Yeah.
And
Seriously, going to try and do something with it, other than being a canoe.
yeah, definitely. And then you're going to ask me what I'm going to do, and you know, so I haven't got a clue. Right now, I haven't got a clue.
I haven't known that to stop you before, Sarah.
Is it a one-woman canoe? Is it?
Could be better, yeah, that's all right.
Brilliant. Thank you so much.
We've just been up and down the river, playing about, but it's got to go, because we're going to somewhere else and we can't keep it, and it hasn't even got a river where we're going, so there's not a lot of point.
I can't wait to design something around this. I'm thinking sofa, I'm thinking drinks, I'm thinking just amazing. This is going to look fantastic. It's going to be great. I'm going to make a fortune out of this.
Do you ever get the feeling of being up a creek without a paddle? Well, the good news is, on this occasion, we do have a kayak. So, Max and Abigail will lick the lump of wood into some sort of shape, Anthony will alter the floral sofa, and Sarah will grab the gunnels and tackle the kayak herself.
I found some little gems today. They might look like diamonds in the rough at the moment, but by the time I finish with them, they're going to be shiny bright and worth an absolute fortune.
Walthamstow in East London is home to a unique and quirky garden shed, which is where creative couple Max and Abigail specialise in producing luxury handmade homeware. They're blissfully unaware of what Sarah's bringing along today.
Knowing Sarah, it could be anything. You could end up with some pallets, because, you know, it could be...
It could be anything.
But they have had experience of Sarah's dump finds before.
What Sarah thinks is a kind of feasible idea could be somewhat of a challenge.
Yeah.
Now, there are some things that I begin to wonder why I rescued, and this is definitely one of them. I don't know why I didn't put it in the skip, but I'm hoping that Max and Abigail will be able to manage to make something out of it.
I've no idea what Max and Abigail are going to do with that lump of old wood. You could say I'm stumped, obviously.
Oh, yeah?
How you doing?
How are you? A little something for you to work some magic on.
Fantastic.
Magic is the...
Magic will be needed.
Yeah, it's not the finest piece of wood I've ever seen.
Let's be optimistic.
I'm not sure that optimism is enough here.
Yeah, what should we call it? Striking?
Yes.
Striking's a good word. Good, wow.
It was a gate post, obviously, and the guy who dropped it off had cut this bit off and reclaimed the other bits. He could use it, so this really is the waste of the waste.
So
Right.
he took the good bit.
So he took the best bit of a kind of bad lot. And,
Let's look at underneath, because there is some supposedly solid here. I mean, that is pretty solid, this bit here.
Is it something that's worth taking on, or do I take this back to the tip and just say, we've tried, but actually this is not workable?
No, I think we'll definitely give it a go.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Are you
don't take
sure?
it back
Yeah,
before
I think
we've tried.
A couple of examples that we've got of where we've kind of worked things in the past, where it's kind of taken just taken a kind of a lump that's really quite badly rotten, like this.
And what kind of money should we be talking about to just have a go at
I
turning
think-
that into something?
I think for the sake of just giving it a go, I think 50 quid just to cover the cost of labour and that kind of stuff, and we'll just have a bit of a play and see what we can do.
I would just be amazed if you can transform that into anything. So I don't think you have to feel worried about taking that on and making. I would just love to see something made out of it. And
Okay, well, yeah, we'll see this as a bit of a kind of just a bit of a sort of experiment and giving it a bit of a go.
great. Well, let me give you these lovely things back, and I'll
Thank you
leave
very
you
much.
with that little beauty.
Excellent.
Brilliant.
All right.
Bye bye.
See you later. Thanks.
Well, I think it's pretty amazing that Max and Abigail can even begin to think about taking on a project like that. And I know that if they can't do anything with it, then really nobody can.
Not what we were expecting, if I'm honest. As we were saying to Sarah, just to kind of have a play, give it a go, and yeah, see what we can get, really.
So Sarah has left Abigail and Max with a budget of just £50 to play with. If their magic doesn't produce the goods for this old gatepost, it will be once more destined for the dump.
Sarah's coming today. I'm just waiting to see. Normally you just don't know what she's getting when she turns up. Who knows what she's going to bring, but every time she surprises me.
It looks really cool when you find it at the tip, but by the time you bring it here, it's just looking a bit embarrassing.
The chair would be nice and simple, but things are never quite that simple. So yeah, hopefully a chair. Just a nice looking mid-century modern kind of chair.
Right. Hiya.
Hello, you all right?
I'm doing really well. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you.
I'm actually a bit embarrassed about what I brought here for you. Come and have a look.
Oh my God.
Ta-da!
Oh my God.
It's not that bad.
It's not that bad. I have seen a lot worse.
Well,
Right,
do you want to
should we get it inside?
do that, yeah, and then we can have a proper look at it? I think it's on wheels, but we could lift it.
Do you want me to go backwards, being a gent and all?
Oh, that's very nice. Don't look at my bum.
Right.
See, nice and substantial, well
The
made.
frame's not bad. The frame's not bad. I'll give you that.
How far's that going to go? So, the people who dropped it off said they lived in a little cottage, so they'd always needed quite petite pieces of furniture.
size.
But their major complaint about it was the fact that whenever they sat in it, it was actually just really uncomfortable.
It looks really soft. I mean, the seats very soft. The cushions are virtually gone. We're going to lose these straight away. Out
Yep.
of fashion. Don't like the frills. We need to improve on the seat depth, so I think we lose these as well. And then we either retain the seat cushions, but we definitely need to bring them forward, so we increase the seat depth back to front, or we basically just have a fixed seat, so imagine it looking more like that. See how it's turning more modern? All them out there, and then put a bit of shape into the back of it. Maybe raise it up, get rid of these skirts at the bottom, and see how it's starting to lose all its weight.
You're talking a really good game here, but it sounds like it might be really expensive. What kind of money are we talking about?
Do it for 800.
All in for 800?
900.
Can we leave it at 8 and see if you can squeeze it in? If it runs over budget.
Right, we'll go 800. Because it's you, so.
That sofa is now in a really safe pair of hands with Anthony. I love his ideas for it. It's going to look really high-end, really luxury, and hopefully have a price tag to match.
It's going to grow as we get involved in it. Some things may change, and we may change things back, but hopefully it won't look too dissimilar to this, but different when she returns.
So, Anthony has radical plans, but with a price tag of £800, Sarah's going to have to achieve a premium price if she's to make a profit on this saggy sofa. From a saggy seat to a potentially soggy seat. Back home, Sarah has grand plans for Richard's old kayak.
As it turns out, I don't think there's anybody else other than me who can actually work on this. But I think it's going to be amazing and possibly one of my favourite projects.
When you see a kayak, you don't automatically think, wow, that's going to make an ideal desk. But that's the plan Sarah has for this little beauty.
I just thought it was a really obvious thing to do with the Camus to turn it into a desk. And I was wondering about polishing it all up and making it look like a really smart version, but I think I've got to keep these signs of wear and tear because they're all part of its history, aren't they?
On a very serious note, this kayak is made from fiberglass, which, when cut, can produce particles which are dangerous to health.
Could make a dog bed. Would you like a canoe dog bed?
Bramble takes no time at all to think of an answer to that question. Fiberglass should only be cut by a professional wearing the correct personal protective equipment. I think what we're saying is, don't do this at home. Cut fiberglass, that is, not change your kayak into a desk. Sarah has managed to find a local company who are specialists in bespoke design metal and glass fibre fabrication. Colin is awaiting her arrival, kayak and all.
I haven't bothered cleaning it yet because I was just thinking if I can't do anything with it, then I'm not going to waste my time cleaning it. So I'm thinking desk.
Right.
Do you see that immediately?
Well, I assume you're just going to cut a section out and lay it in flat?
Yeah. So it'll literally be, hopefully, just a cut along here, and then round here, and along here. It's just getting, just those little cuts, and there may be some sort of support in here. I don't know what you call that kind of thing to...
Being a seagoing vessel, let's call it a bulkhead then.
Okay, bulkhead.
Yeah.
That I love a term. Okay, so if there's one up there and maybe one there...
If to support the legs up to the bulkheads, we put a ply through there.
Yeah, I'm loving the weave.
That would then, that will give support right the way across. It won't bow in or anything under the weight. So that should be absolutely fine.
So, with a plan in mind, Sarah's having the kayak cut with all the necessary safety precautions in place. As we never had a paddle, let's hope this drastic alteration doesn't leave us up a creek, as we no longer have a kayak either.
Fantastic.
Right.
Oh, you've made my day.
Made something.
Don't be rude about my kayak.
Never one to miss an opportunity, Sarah pushes on, creating the strengthening bulkheads.
So how much do you think it's going to be for all of that with the materials? What are we looking at, do you think? Because there's obviously more than where we started from earlier.
I know, but I think demonstrating to people what you can do with something as opposed to throwing it away is an amazing thing. So I'll say £50 for £50.
I can't just give you £50 because 75,
Okay.
75.
There you are.
Honestly,
Lovely. That's
you
all
have
right.
been amazing.
Fine.
Back with Max, Abigail and the rotting gatepost.
So that's all really quite kind of gone. That's just all breaking away there. So we'll just have a look. So we'll kind of break this down a bit more and see what else we can get. But all of that is really, really gone.
Now, I'm no expert on dead wood, but when I see a large bloke hitting a small piece of wood with a big hammer and very little happens, that would indicate that it's rather more solid than first meets the eye. But of course, if at first you don't succeed, try again with a chainsaw.
Probably get something a quite decent size out of that, I think.
Very unexpected.
Yeah, great. Okay, let's see what we can do.
Yeah.
I don't like to say I told you so. After removing that old rotten surround at the heart of this old oak, there does appear to be enough wood to work with after all.
That'll be fine.
So could you get quite a decent sized one? From
Yeah, so I think,
that?
because obviously it's going to be round, so it only needs to be square, really. So
If it's going to be round, it only needs to be square. I'll have to go and think about that one for a bit. Max, meanwhile, cracks on, turning the now square, soon to be round stump on the lathe.
the core seems to be pretty solid, which is good as well as surprising. Because when Sarah brought it, it was kind of like not even touch and go. I just thought we weren't going to get anything. So it's actually good that there's some kind of solid wood that we can kind of work with and turn something out of. Cool. It's quite amazing, if I say so myself. No, I'm really pleased. That's great.
Well, it's a testament to how hard the oak is, I guess, isn't it?
Yeah, that's all it's testament to, isn't it?
Ah,
just
the
the hardness of the oak, yeah. Yeah. Oh well, we'll let Sarah take all the credit then.
Yeah.
For bringing all the magnificent materials that she brought us.
She knew all along. She knew all along it was going to be good inside.
In Manchester, Anthony's well underway with his plans to modernise that old floral sofa.
Put the first kind of base coat on, and we're just going to put some more kind of spray on here, and then we're going to pull this apart. And we're going to photograph it from above and then have it digitally printed. To be honest, people will probably think, what is going on? But these are the ideas that kind of tick away in my head.
You're scaring me a little bit now, Anthony. Perhaps you should take up a hobby. Spend a little time away from soft furnishings. Do something different at the weekends, maybe.
I've stripped a fair few sofas in my time, but never quite like this before. Let's just start exposing bits and pieces. Right, and we'll go for all the finer detail after that. That's pretty much how we want it to look in terms of deconstruction. So now the process is, what we're going to do is prepare it so we can photograph it and then have it all digitally printed.
Taking photos of all the destructive detail inflicted on the poor old sofa will allow Anthony to create a brand new re-upholstered seat, which looks as though it's been vandalised.
We've photographed these at very high resolution and we send it over to our printers that then will put it through a huge printer and then print it all onto fabric for us.
Of course, before beginning to re-upholster, all that old covering has to be removed, and fortunately, while Anthony is at the printers, able assistant Lee is let loose on the sofa, and not in a gentle way either.
Just converting it from being what was like a kind of a country cottage style sofa into something a bit more modern and urban. And one of the ways we're going to do that is by dropping the height of the back, probably down to here somewhere. We're also going to slightly lower the arm by probably removing this part here and all of this. Also, just while we're here, the first thing you do when we're covering a sofa is rip out the seat to see what goodies you can find as well. What do we have? We have a winning lottery ticket from 2004. How long did it last for?
I might get it.
Still waiting on the big reveal where we open it and we strip it and all the wads of cash fall out, which we would obviously return to the rightful owner.
not so sure Lee thinks that's a great idea. So the physical transformation of the sorry sofa begins by dismantling the frame and reshaping it into a new contemporary figure.
Ta-da! Done.
Not much to this upholstery malarkey. I reckon I could have done that. Oh, sorry, you're not finished.
Sarah's due in about 72 hours. T-minus 72 hours. So, yeah, we should be just about ready for her to sit on it, I think.
She might need to bring her own cushion by the look of things. Back at home in West Sussex, Sarah feels as though she's paddling upstream with her kayak transformation.
Next time somebody drops off a kayak at the tip, I'll probably think twice about picking it up, because turning it into a desk, a little bit of a nightmare.
Sarah has bought online a set of 4 pre-bent hairpin legs, which she's bolting through the holes that she's drilled in the bottom of the boat.
Where I thought everything would just really neatly bolt together, I'm having to adjust it slightly every time, mainly using a hammer.
Once the alterations were complete, all that was left was to give it a lick of paint.
Just trying to get a real depth of colour to it so it looks really well finished.
And a real good polish.
If you'd like to take on a really challenging project, try turning a canoe into a console table. It's really hard work, but it's definitely worth it.
When Sarah kept this kayak from being discarded at the dump, it was a sorry-looking item, and I know that there were those of you who thought she'd bitten off more than she could chew. Well, without hesitation, Sarah has sunk her teeth in and created an eye-catching console table. Admittedly, its proportions would not suit your average semi, but it's sure to attract admiring glances wherever it finds its new home. To turn the old kayak into a console table, Sarah has spent £125 on materials and a further £175 on labour, which totals £300. All she's looking for now is somebody with a need for a kayak console table who owns a rather long haul. Back at the dump, Sarah's keen eye spotted a kayak in the back of Richard's car.
There's no great history of daring do for this.
Richard couldn't believe what he was hearing.
Seriously, you're going to try and do something with it, other than being a canoe.
Yeah, definitely. And then you're going to ask me what I'm going to do, and you know, I haven't got a clue. Right now, I haven't got a clue.
Luckily, inspiration came to Sarah, and with a little help from friends, she was able to turn it into a kayak console table. Sarah was lucky enough to sell the kayak console table to specialist retro homeware shop The Old Cinema in London. Sarah's returned to Hazelmere to show Richard what became of his kayak and to hand over any profit.
Hello. Hi, Richard. Lovely to see you again.
Good to see you.
Come on down. Let me show you the pictures of the kayak. So there are lots of lovely designers who we have got who are helping us make things into amazing stuff from the tip.
Yeah.
And none of them worked with fiberglass.
Right.
So I have embraced fiberglass, and I have turned your kayak into a kayak console.
Oh, that is terrific. That's ace.
In my mind's eye, when I was making it, I thought it's going to end up in somewhere like a shop or somewhere where you could have a till on it, or perhaps somebody, you know, in a very cool bar, maybe mixing music on it or doing something like that.
It's a real winner, isn't it?
It is a winner, and somebody loved it and they bought it. So it cost £300 to make it look like a gleaming, fantastic console table, and I sold it for £450. So I've got £150 to give to you there.
It's wonderful, £150. This is going to go towards the next kayak and your next success. Yes?
Do you need another kayak? Have you got room for another kayak in your life?
That's history, but this tops it completely. That's wonderful. And what you've created.
Oh, you know, that's fantastic. I'm so pleased you let me have it. It was a really good, fun project. So, Richard, who knows how far our console canoes will go?
Yes, there's a great future.
So, with the kayak costing £300 to convert and Sarah managing a sale of £450, that's left a profit for Richard of £150.
I love it when they love it. And that was another great example of somebody who wanted their transformed trash back.
The final result is superb. The finish is terrific. The idea was inspired, and whoever's got it, I'm really quite envious. I think it's terrific. I think it's a slightly better table than a canoe, in fact.
Although we find ourselves back in the very urban setting of Walthamstow, Sarah has returned very sheepishly to Max and Abigail's to see what has become of the rotten old gatepost.
The last time I was here, I dropped off a gatepost that literally crumbled in Max and Abigail's hands before they'd even started work on it. So the chances of making a profit on this one, I think, are really slim.
She was pretty embarrassed at what she was leaving us with, and I don't think we were particularly filled with hope.
That old gatepost was certainly nothing to look at back at the dump. But with a huge amount of skill and craft, what was once deemed beyond salvage has become a range of wondrous wooden bowls. Consisting of 2 sets of pinch bowls, an oak pot and 3 further shallow bowls, Max and Abigail have worked their magic to create some truly beautiful wooden tableware.
This is my favourite bit. Even though that gatepost was really bad, I'm still excited.
Welcome.
You're joking. Seriously?
Yeah, 100%. That's the reaction we wanted, isn't it?
That's good. That's gone down well.
Absolute genius. Honestly, and these pieces that came out of it as well.
Yeah, so we thought it was quite nice to just kind of keep some...
keep a bit of the signs of age, so here you can really see actually how solid... So if that's the edge, I mean, there was a hell of a lot of solid... It wasn't much of that before you actually hit solid wood.
Yeah.
To come back and find this is, yeah, really cool. I think I left you with a budget of £50. Because you managed to do so much work, has that changed?
There was a slight amount of cursing of your name after you'd left, but then I would say we spent probably about £100.
In total.
If that sounds okay with you, and I think what we've produced, we can hopefully make that back and
more.
With some profit on top as well.
Well, I'm definitely going to check your gateposts on the way out because I can't believe that all came out of that thing. That's amazing, really cool. That's brilliant. Thank you so much for those.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Genuine surprise. So this completely exceeds my expectation of what I was going to see here today. From rotten old gatepost to this, I mean, the level of craftsmanship is amazing. And I might even make as much as £50 worth of profit.
We genuinely thought that we weren't going to get much and that it wasn't going to be, that it wasn't going to be that great. But no, I think
she's pleased.
Yeah, I think she's really pleased.
So even with Max and Abigail upping the cost, this transformation from a gammy old gatepost to wooden pinch pots of perfection cost just £100. I think I can see these selling for a profit, at a pinch. Back in Whitley, Sarah was not the only one to spot the potential of the old rotten gatepost. Colin had already had a bright idea.
I've actually used half of it already.
Okay.
As a lamp. Surplus to requirements, just brought it to the local dump to get rid of it. There you are, somebody else wants to use it, fantastic.
Well, you can't make things look like that, so for me that was just perfect.
Excellent.
Thank you so much.
Good luck with that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Having been transformed from gatepost to tableware, all that remained was for Sarah to find a sale. And online homeware retail outlets such and such stepped into the breach. They snapped up the complete collection.
Looking forward to having them on the site.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great.
Seeing people's responses to them. It's always nice. And,
Yeah. There you go.
Thank you very
Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Nice to see you again. Bye.
Sarah's returned to Surrey to deliver the good news to Colin, along with, hopefully, some cash.
Oh, hello.
Hi, Colin. How are you?
I haven't seen you since Whitley Dump, isn't it?
Yeah, it's much nicer around here, isn't it?
It is much nicer than Whitley Dump, for sure, yeah.
Have I just seen the other half of your gatepost?
You may well
Is it out there with the light on it?
You may well have just seen the other half of my gatepost. Well, that was the part that, of course, I didn't need the part that I took to the dump. That's what I needed, so I threw it away.
And you laughed at me at the tip. You laughed at me taking your gatepost away.
Well, only because I've already done something with it, you see, and it was only the small part that didn't need.
So it turns out you weren't the only person to laugh at me, because Max and Abigail, who I took your old gatepost to, they really laughed as well.
I'm not surprised.
So here I have some pictures to show you of what they made.
That is absolutely incredible.
It had that big spiky bit left in it, didn't it? So
yes.
all these little bowls came out of that, and then they turned some bowls from the larger, chunkier bit as well.
I did not expect that. That is absolutely incredible.
We have sold all of those bowls for £165.
Golly.
Which is good news, because your old stump now has brought you £65.
That is incredible, isn't it?
I'm really chuffed,
For an old
actually.
post, I get £65.
Yeah.
Golly. That is incredible, isn't it? Absolutely incredible.
With costs of £100 and a sale price of £165, Colin has £65 profit. So what will he do with this massive windfall?
I'm a great advocate of charity, and it will go to a good cause. It will probably go to the Alzheimer's Society.
Well, that's very generous of you. If you want to spend any of it on you, it is money for nothing, so you're allowed to do exactly what you like with it.
I might equally just treat myself to a small libation in the local hostelry.
I think that sounds like a cracking plan.
Sarah's returning to Anthony's workshop back in Manchester to collect what was the forlorn floral sofa.
We only got the fabric kind of less than 24 hours ago, so we basically had to transform it overnight, so I haven't been to bed.
When I was last here, Anthony had some radical plans for my chintzy old sofa, but he is a master of upholstery, and I know he won't disappoint.
This one is, well, it's out of my comfort zone and definitely out of hers, so we'll see how she likes it.
Anthony has taken that old floral sofa destined for the dump and transformed it into a brand new refurbished floral sofa that looks like it's destined for the dump. Underneath that unusual appearance, this saggy old sofa has been stripped back to the bare bones, massaged and moulded into a new modern shape and covered in brand new material created with cutting-edge printing techniques.
Hello.
Hello, how are we?
Yeah, really well. How are you doing?
Good to see you.
And you? How's it gone?
Let's go.
Oh my word.
There's a lot to take in. Do you like it? It's the new shabby chic. That's what we're calling it.
It looks like it might be dirty, doesn't it?
I know. Forever pulling,
Just get that bit of fluff
bits
off.
out.
I think it's really clever, isn't it?
I'm not sure if it's ever been done before.
To put back the old texture onto the new, yeah.
Can you just get a bit of fluff off the end there?
No, that's real. Just looking at that, there's a mark on the back as well. Who do you reckon is going to snap this up? Where's this go?
I'm thinking probably design agencies, PR companies, and marketing. Somebody that's got like a little funky office and wants a kind of reception area.
So we're looking for a funky office currently without a sofa to snap up this chic and unique seat. But in order to know how much to charge, we have to know how much we spent.
I had to bring Lee in because I was running behind you, putting me under pressure all the time. But I'll take him out for a pint, and we're still on budget.
I'll buy the pork scratchings, okay?
Very well then.
Yeah, I like pork scratchings.
I didn't know you could get pork scratchings quite so far south as Sussex. I thought they became crackling as it passes Watford. So with the deal struck, all that remains is to get the sofa in the van. Oh, and sell it, of course.
Well, Anthony has definitely delivered on the radical. That sofa is a really clever design, and he's identified that niche market to help me sell it.
Obviously, it's not Sarah's normal kind of style. It's different to what I'm used to, although these things are always rattling around in my head. Yeah, I'm really pleased, really pleased.
Despite an initial scare regarding the budget being blown, Anthony has in fact been able to complete this project for the agreed amount of £800. And a packet of pork scratches, of course. Back at the dump in Whitley, Sarah spotted Bernard and Dominic sneaking a sofa from the back of their van.
Well, the sofa was going to be dumped. It is unbelievably uncomfortable.
Would it be something that you'd let me have a go at? And
Absolutely. I mean, if you could add value to that, that's fine.
can't wait to get my hands on it and do something with it. That's fantastic.
Sarah was not the only one keen to get her hands on Bernard and Dominic's old sofa. Family-run business Smithers of Stamford, who specialise in the sale of one-off vintage retro and quirky items, were also quick to see the appeal and snapped up Anthony's shabby chic sofa. Sarah has returned to Whitley to catch up with Bernard and meet Sue, the sofa's owner, to show what became of their once saggy seat.
Hello again. Hi there, Sarah. Hi there. Hello.
Good to see you again.
Oh, hi
My
there.
wife, Sue.
Hi there, Sue. Hi there. How do you do, Sarah?
I'm fine.
Hi
Nice
there.
to meet you.
Thank you very much for letting us come and show you a little bit of what we did with your.
Yes.
Is it your stepdaughter's? Your
It's
daughter's
my daughter's, yeah,
sofa.
my daughter's sofa. Yeah. Well, it was actually my sofa. I lent it to my daughter because she needed some furniture.
Okay. Well, I need you to brace yourself. Okay.
For what you've done to it.
Yes. Okay.
Well,
don't be
anything's
too
better
shocked.
than throwing it away, isn't it?
Well, it definitely hasn't been thrown away, so I'm going. Don't be too shocked, because basically it has been graffitied and torn apart, and then photographed, and
Goodness
then
me.
reupholstered.
Goodness me.
Is that what?
It's amazing.
It's not what you'd expect,
No,
though,
it's
is it?
not what you'd expect.
It actually takes £800 to get something to look like
I was
that.
going to
I
say.
couldn't imagine.
So it's and while we were kind of deliberating about whether we thought it was amazing or not, somebody made an offer on it.
No.
Yes, we made an offer that made us £180 worth of profit to give back to you.
Gosh, £180 for something that went to the dump. That's fantastic.
It's amazing.
Well, I'm glad you met. Fantastic. Thank you.
Is there anything that you're saving up for, or that you need?
We're going on holiday soon. I'll spend it, or we go out for a super meal, or I don't know. Well, something nice with it.
Lovely. Well, it's all
Frivolous.
yours.
But it
I
won't
will.
be another sofa, that's for sure.
Anthony managed to transform Bernard and Sue's old Floral sofa for £800, and with the sale making £980, that was £180 profit for Bernard and Sue, just for taking an old Floral sofa to the tip.
So that was one of the more radical transformations, but I think we got away with it, because what I wasn't expecting was Sue and Bernard actually to really like it.
Yeah, I do.
It's now a bit quirky, isn't it?
It's
really?
very quirky.
Very quirky, but
It's great.
It's nice.
It's really good.
So, Sarah's managed to make money from all three items saved from the dump. The wooden tableware turned from an old oak stump, the vandalised shabby chic sofa, and of course the Kayak console table.
Well, that was a really mad mix of things. Some old bits of wood, a sofa, and my favourite, the canoe. But I'm really glad we took a chance on them and that it all made a little bit of money for nothing.